Good morning, all of you. Today's topic is cost output relationship. This is coming under Block 3, Unit 12. In this class, we are going to discuss about how to construct the cost function and the role of cost function in decision making and cost output relationship both in short run and long run. These are the things that we are going to cover in this class. The main objective of this particular topic is to know the relationship between the cost factor and the production factor. Let us start with the cost function. Cost function expresses the relationship between the cost and output. It depends on the prices of input and the production function. Based on the time perspective, cost function differs in the short run and long run. The equation of cost function implies that the cost of production is the function of prices of inputs and quantities of inputs used by the firm. The cost function can be expressed with the expression CT equal to function of Q1 and P1, where CT is a total cost function and Q1 is a quantities employed by the firm, P1 is a price of the respective input. So this is the equation of a cost function. Let us move to the second part, that is role of cost function in decision making. The cost function gains its importance as it plays a vital role in the business decision making. The key factor of any business is the construction of the cost function. Basically, the cost function is called derived function because it has been derived from the production function. The knowledge about the cost analysis and its theory is essential for evaluation of a project or a capital investment decision or make or buy decision, selection and conversion of input into required output in the production process, and so on. Most of the economists expressed the application of cost function in terms of time horizon, usually short and long run. For any kind of market structure, short-run costs are essential in the determination of price and output. In easy words, the construction of average cost curve, AC curve, is called cost output relationship, nothing but the cost function. Why it is so? The formula for average cost is total cost divided by output. So cost and output is there. So when you calculate the average cost, that itself shows the cost output relationship. The roles of manager are to make a decision that should govern how the company reaches its goal. Most of these goals have financial aspects such as revenue and profit targets. The level of cost include in such a decision is a major impact on the finance part of the company. Reliable reporting of actual costs, accurate estimation of projected costs, and the appropriate integration of such costs in managerial decision is a key component of business operation that meet their targets and further the goal of the company. An ideal decision making process select one or two of these alternatives. When the cost of the alternative is the same, then the manager has to consider the other factors also. In most of the cases, there is a difference in cost and the need of the decision arises when the cost function will influence the selection of the best alternative, that is the decision making. Further, the types of costs impact the manager decision in terms of production costs, raw material costs, investment costs, and of course the final product cost, we used to say price. So the role of cost function is very significant in business decision. Now let us move how to relate the cost and output. First, we will start with the short run cost output relationship. The cost output relationship in a short run involves extraction of a short run average cost curve. Shortly we used to call it as SAC. In case of short run, the fixed costs remain the same and only the variable cost will change proportionately with the output level. First, we will calculate the fixed cost and variable cost, average fixed cost. There are certain costs which are unchanged irrespective of output. They are called fixed costs. The fixed cost is parallel to the output axis. You can see in the diagram. While calculating the average fixed cost, it slopes downwards from left to right, moving closer and closer to the output axis, but it never touches. It will come closer. So fixed cost is a parallel to axis, and downward sloping curve shows the average fixed cost. Now you can see the diagram. The fixed cost is parallel to output axis, and the average fixed cost is sloping downwards from left to right. It comes closer, it never becomes zero. Now let us move to the average variable cost. Some of the costs which will increase along with the output level are called variable costs. It can be represented in a curve. The variable cost curve slopes from left to right, but the shape of the average variable cost AVC, initially it slopes and then it starts rising steeply as shown in the figure. You can see. Then after calculating average fixed cost and average variable cost, it is easy to calculate the average total cost. Why? Because the sum of the average fixed cost and the average variable cost is equal to average total cost. The shape of the SAC is U-shaped, and the point at which the marginal cost intersect is called the least cost level of output. The marginal cost curve intersect is called the least cost level of output. The optimum point of both AVC and ATC and the average cost SAC decreases initially and reach the minimum and then rises. The shape of the AFC is rectangular hyperbola. It means the AFC reduces continuously as output increases, but it never becomes zero. You can see in the diagram, figure 3. The AFC is sloping downwards from left to right. It tried to reach zero, but it never be zero. AVC, initially it come down and then it increases sharply. And ATC is a U-shaped curve. MC intersect the least cost point. So from this diagram, we can give the implication of short-run cost output relationship. Number 1, the average fixed cost falls as output rises from lower level to higher levels of output. Number 2, the average variable cost first falls and then rises, and also the average total cost. The third one is the average variable cost curve starts rising earlier than average total cost curve. The fourth one, the least cost level of output corresponds to the point LC on the average total cost curve. The last implication is the marginal cost curve MC intersect both average variable cost curve and the average total cost. This is the short-run cost output relationship. Now let us move to the long-run cost output relationship. When we aggregate the various short-run average cost curve SAC curves resulted in a long-run average cost curve, or LAC is a summation of SAC curves. It is to be noted that the long-run average cost curve involves all the costs are variable and no fixed cost as such. The scale of production has been changing depending on different plant size. In easy words, the long-run average cost curve is useful for law of return to scale, and in contrary, the short-run average cost curve useful for the law of variable proportion. Consider the above mentioned SAC1 curve for the period of cost output relation in the year 2015. The SAC2, SAC3 and SAC4 are the short-run average cost curve for the year 2016, 17 and 18 respectively. The levels of output measured in the x-axis and the average cost curve measured in the y-axis for the period 2015 to 18. You can see the diagram. there will be Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 that will be measured. SAC 1 is 2015, SAC 2 is 2016, SAC 3 is 2017, and SAC 4 is 2018. So we aggregate 4 short and average cost curve, and that green line represents the least cost combination factor, that optimum point. So it is a boat-shaped curve. LAC is a boat-shaped curve. In the short run, the firm will be busy with one plant size, whereas in the long run, more than one plant size will be operated as a scale of operation expands. The long run average cost initially falls with the increase in output, and it will become the lowest at the particular level of output. After that, it starts rising, which result in boat-shaped LAC. There are many other names for long run average cost curve, such as planning curve, and it helps for the planning the business, or envelope curve, as it envelopes the optimal points of the sequential short run average cost curve. And it is called development curve, as it plays a significant role in the business development. So what are the implications in this particular long run cost output relationship? Number one, the long run average cost curve is tangential to the various SACs. This is the first implication. Second one, the long range average cost curve is U-shaped, or it's like a dish. The third one is the long run average cost curve will never intersect the SAC, as it makes a tangency with the SAC. Fourth one, the long run average cost curve will touch the optimum scale curve at the later least cost point. The fifth one, the long run average cost curve will touch SAC curves lying to the left of the optimum scale curve at the left of their least cost points. Similarly, LAC will touch the SAC curve lying right to the optimum scale of curve at the right of their least cost point. So these are the 6 implications of long run cost output relationship. With this, let us complete the class. Let me summarize what we have seen. What is the need for cost function? What is the role of cost function in business decision making? And then we studied about the cost output relationship, not only in the short run, but also the long run. The key words are SAC and LAC. SAC means short run average cost curve. LAC is long run average cost curve. You can expect 2 section B question, either a short run or long run they may ask, or what is the role of cost function in a business. Thank you for watching the video.